haven't filmed on this channel in so long. I think it's been 7 months since I've talked to the camera, since I've talked to this channel. And to everyone here, hello, I hope everyone is doing well. And I hope you had a splendid first week and a half, I want to say, of the new year. I have been reading. I have been enjoying life. I graduated recently, which is the most amazing thing that happened to me in 2023. And I'm back here on the channel to discuss with you my first read of the year, which is Babel. It's sitting right here. Let me just grab it. So it's Babel by R.F Kuang. So if you're new to this channel, hi, I am obsessed with anything R.F Kuang related. So it is only natural that my first read of 2024 is dedicated to her. So a fun fact about Babel, I got it at Topping & Company from the branch that exists in Edinburgh. And it is a first edition and it is signed as well. Let me show you. Let me show you the signature of the great R.F Kuang. Right there. It is right there. Look at it. It is so pretty. So Babel is a fiction history book taking us back to the 1830s, where everything that makes it great is the magical silver bars that it possesses. The bars fuel both the economic and the colonial interests of the crown. So the secret of making the silver bars work is that it lies through the translation that is lost in time, where words maybe 2 or 3 words that are similar in languages, they have quite a different meaning to them, if it makes sense. So the Translation Institute is very important. Robin Swift as our protagonist in this book, and he comes from Canton. Now Robin is a very interesting character and very mysterious at first, because the book literally opens with sickness that has taken over Canton and has killed most of Robin's family. And he was also sick. He was on the verge of dying when suddenly Professor Lovell breaks into his home and heals him with this silver bar. From then on, Robin's life takes a whole another turn when Professor Lovell brings him back with him from Canton to Britain. His Chinese name is never revealed to us, so he named himself Robin Swift, and he lived with Professor Lovell in Britain in his estate. Now, Professor Lovell is a very vicious character. He was not the fatherly figure that Robin needed as a child and as an adult. He trained him viciously in languages such as ancient Greek, Cantonese, and other languages, just so that he would be perfect as a candidate in the Translation Institute in Oxford, which basically runs the whole show when it comes to the silver bars working. Now, of course, Robin gets into the institution. He is introduced to his cohorts, which consist of Rami, who is originally from Calcutta, Victoire, who is originally from Haiti. We also have Letty, who is British. They have the most wonderful and privileged life in Oxford. So there's no reason to retaliate or to quit or to leave all of this behind. It was really hard to fit in with the Oxfordian society or whatever, because they were colored people, they were different, they will never be treated the same as white people, especially in the 1830s. If you think back, it's a very unique situation for them as colored people, except for Letty, of course, who is British. So it was really interesting to see their dynamics in Oxford and how they were treated and how people were in general back then. Now, when I speak of the empire, there's always a resistance brewing in the background, which is exactly what was happening. There was a secret society called the Army, a society where the resistance basically. Robin stumbles upon them one night when he witnesses them sneaking silver from the tower. And then he just comes face to face with his long lost brother, who is called Griffin. Griffin introduces him to the society, and although he doesn't say much, he basically is trying to recruit him. Professor Lovell discovers all of this, and he warns Robin about that, about the society, about his position in Oxford and whose side he is on. Robin was a bit iffy about the whole Hermes society until he discovers that Rami and Victoire are also recruits. One mission goes wrong and they're almost caught, but then Robin sacrifices himself and gets grilled by Professor Lovell about the whole shenanigan. So then the group is whisked away, the 4 cohorts, to Canton, where the country was in the verge of war. Like Britain was in the verge of war with China. So there they discover a lot of things about the empire. They're the ones who are planning and sneaking just to make this war happen, just so that they can benefit more from Chinese silver bars and whatnot. On the cruise ship, when they are on their way back to Britain, Robin makes a huge mistake that would lead them to further demise. I don't want to spoil too much because I do not like spoiling books, but man, does this mistake cost them everything. So when they're back in London, they're in hiding and they get introduced to the Hermes Society, which is composed of all these older students that either went missing or quit or like just left or disappeared and never came back again, but really they were inducted into the Hermes Society, or they were like students that were already studying there but they were undercover, just like that. So they go into hiding, but this does not last for long because they get ambushed, betrayal happens, the climax is just, it's not really a happy ending. If you're looking for a happy ending, then you've stumbled upon the wrong author and the wrong book. R.F Kuang doesn't write happy endings. She writes realistic endings that might not be the cup of tea for everyone, but to me, I love it. I love an open ending. I love realistic endings. Although sometimes I get annoyed and I get frustrated with the author, but it's just a masterpiece. You can't just hate it. Let's move on to my opinion about this whole book in general and what I think about the characters and what I think about the plot. I don't usually read history, and R.F Kuang has really introduced me to a lot of events that happened in history that I might have heard of, but I don't know much about. What really helped me in this book is the footnotes that she included. I know that R.F Kuang studied history. I know that she has this whole background to it, so she is the perfect person, I guess, to write something like this. It was really educational, and although I enjoy literature, I now enjoy history as well. So thank you, R.F Kuang, for that. I just think that history really opens your eyes to what is happening currently. It just is full of lessons, but I guess humanity doesn't really learn. Certain problems don't really get solved, they just get buried. They're just underneath, brewing and brewing and brewing until they resurface again. I also think that including the Opium Wars again is very, like, I feel like that was like a hats off to the previous trilogy that she wrote, which I found really interesting. It does like mean something in this book as well, but it's not just there to pay homage. It's just that I think it's interesting that it was included yet again. So when it comes to the characters, I really liked Robin's character. I just thought that he really came to his own. Although it was a bit rushed, I felt like it was a bit rushed at the very end, his character development. I just feel like it makes sense. When you go mad, when you are full of grief, it just happens just like that. He might have been a bit slow than the others because, for example, Rami and Victoire, they were really into the cause. They were ahead of him. There was the topic of betrayal. It just had my blood boiling because friendship betrayals are really hurtful. I saw it coming though. I really saw it coming. I didn't imagine it to be so painful. It was so painful. So there was also the topic of sacrifice because sacrifice happens a lot during resistance. It wouldn't be called a resistance if we didn't lose lives in it. If we didn't lose like information, books, research. All of that was in Babbel itself as a tower, which is as a concept was really cool. Like when I imagine it and when I see the picture of it, I'll just show you. It's right there. Look at that. It's really majestic, isn't it? And imagine like a tower like that where you get to study and learn and do research. It is such a wonderful concept, and I really loved it. While doing my master's, I was reading this, like maybe like a few pages every few weeks or a few months. When I was reading it, I was like, wow, this is such a cool institute. And I was studying in such a cool institute, so I was like, oh, this is so relatable, I love it. But it's so similar. The way that things run in such institutes, it's so similar. And I could relate, especially as a woman of color. It is tough navigating your way through such a system, but it's not impossible. And if you're planning on doing that, then good luck to you and stick with your people. I'm not saying that you shouldn't like meet others as well. Like I'm not saying that you shouldn't mingle, you shouldn't be with other people than colored people. No, I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying that maybe if you need a support system, maybe you need like someone to push you, someone to be there for you, someone who understands the places that you come from. But overall, this book was amazing to go through. It was slow paced at the beginning. It was almost dull. I was like, nothing is happening. They're just living their lives. The professor is being abusive. And what is going on with these silvers and the secret society and resistance? Like in the middle, and then like the last parts, they were just very engaging and like very heartbreaking. If you're into dark academia, if you're into history that is rich with colonialism, if you're into a bit of magic that is thrown in the mix as well with complex characters, this book is for you. The writing is superb. I can never stop talking about R.F Kuang's writing because I really love her writings. She's really inspirational and I look up to her so much. That's Babbel for you. So thank you for watching, everyone. Drop a like or even a comment. Let me know what are you reading or what is your first read and what are you planning to read. And if you're planning to read this book, or what are your opinions about this book. And yeah, see you in the next video. Bye.